Um, okay. I haven't put any grades in. I haven't put your daily grades in. So it should go up because y'all have at least 3 daily grades because you've done vitals notes part one, two, three, and this would make four. Even though it's short, it still counts as a daily activity. All right, so temperature. Temperature is the measurement of the balance between heat loss and the heat produced by the body. That is a definition. It is a test question. So make sure that you put a star by that. Okay, so I moved over to the chapter in the book, which is posted in Schoology under this week's folder, the 9th through the 13th, because I want you to have it as a reference for when I'm saying page numbers and where you can find this information. It's here in the chapter. So let me flip off of that for you. Go ahead right now. I feel like I've been doing this kind of stuff. Okay. Um, on page 350, it's going to tell you how to convert Fahrenheit to Celsius and Celsius to Fahrenheit. But we'll go back to that in a minute. So the temperature can be taken 4 ways. It can be taken in the mouth, oral, in the rectum, rectally or rectal, in the armpit, axillary, and the ear, oral. Now, ear and mouth, you have to be very careful when you're saying them and when you're spelling them, because the mouth is oral with an O, the ear is oral with an A, A-U. say oral. So oral and oral are spelled different and they're also pronounced different. But if you say them to say oral too fast, people think you're speaking about the mouth. Oral. Oral, yes. Oral. Mm-hmm. Don't shoot the messenger. I did not come up with this terminology. This is not me. Promise. Promise, promise. Correct. So that's why you have to be very specific when you are pronouncing those particular terms. So here are your conversions, or this is the conversion slide. It's just simply saying that you're going to review the conversions on how to do Fahrenheit to Celsius and vice versa, Celsius to Fahrenheit. Okay. So with Fahrenheit, it's going to be Fahrenheit minus 32 times 5/9. Fahrenheit to Celsius. So it's going to be Fahrenheit minus 32 equals that value times 5/9 or 5/9. Celsius to Fahrenheit is the one at the bottom. Mm-hmm. Hold on. Do this right here. So in the book on page 350, it's going to tell you how to convert and give you an example. So if you have your phone or a calculator where you're sitting right now, let's just go ahead and do it. So in this case, the Fahrenheit value is going to be 212 minus 32. And that should give you 180. 180 times 5/9. Mm-hmm. Will give you the value of 100 degrees Celsius. Now to do Celsius, it's a little different. Now I prefer if I have to do Celsius to Fahrenheit, which in most cases you're going to have to use this, especially when you get medical records from the hospital. They do Celsius. Other places, and when I mean other places, I mean other countries, because they typically use Celsius overseas whereas in the United States we use Fahrenheit. We use Fahrenheit in pounds, they use Celsius in kilos. So yes, you do have to know how to convert kilos to pounds because you get medical records all the time with kilos, and you know that this person is not 65 pounds. Okay, so yeah, you have to be able to convert it. Now, I prefer to do the 1.8 instead of the 9/5 just because it's a little easier. So with the Celsius, it's going to be Celsius times the 1.8 equal the value, and the value times I'm sorry, plus 32. The value is going to be plus 32. So in this case, from the book, you're going to convert 37 degrees to Fahrenheit. So you multiply 37 degrees Celsius times 1.8, 66.6, and then you add your 32. And you get 98.6 Fahrenheit. Now, am I going to ask you to convert anything on the test? No. But I am going to ask that you know what they look like. What is the correct formula? What is the correct formula? What is the correct formula if you have to convert vice versa? Celsius or Fahrenheit? Is it something you have to do often? No. Because this day and age with the technology that we have, you can simply just click the button and it's going to switch from Fahrenheit to Celsius and it'll do the conversion for you. But it's when you receive medical records that you're really going to have to know how to convert that. Now, if you could just do it in your head and you see it, be like, oh, 37 degrees Celsius, 98. Okay, fine, that's up to you. Most people can't do that. So you need to know the conversion. Right. Terms that are associated with temperature. You have hypothermia, which is a low body temperature. It's when the body temperature is below 95 degrees Fahrenheit or 35 degrees Celsius. Death can occur with temperatures below 93 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, it's too cold. There's no blood circulating through the body. It's too cold. So that terminology or that phrase, somebody froze to death, it's really because people can freeze to death. A fever is an elevated body temperature, usually above 101 degrees Fahrenheit. It's typically caused by an infection or an injury. Now, are fevers bad? Yes. In what connotation or in what context? Why do you think are all fevers bad?
No, not all. I think it depends on how you do it.
Or what it is?
determine if it's bad or not. So fever comes and goes, but it depends on how you got it. So sometimes it becomes.
Well, to answer that question, fevers are not always bad. A fever is the way that your body is telling you, yes, there's something wrong, but your body is also fighting it off. If your body is at a high temperature, it's trying to cook out whatever that you have that's foreign to your body at that moment. You've heard your grandma or your mama say you got to sweat it out? You got to let your fever break. Because there's some things that you just need to let run its course for the body to take care of you. However, if you have a situation where your body temperature is over 102 for an extreme period of time, we're talking about 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours, it's not normal. Then it's something that you need medication or an antipyretic to help bring that fever down. So not all the time are fevers bad, but it's an indicator to let you know that something good is not happening. Pyrexia is a definition or another term for fever. And a febrile is a term that's typically used in medical reports to describe a patient. And it's just telling you that the patient doesn't have a fever. A 26-year-old African American female presents to my office today within normal limits and is afebrile. You will see that in the report. But no, but afebrile or afebrile, either way that you decide to say it, there isn't a fever. A fever is not present. And yes, I know, Miss, why can't they just say there's no fever? Because that's just not medicine. Medicine likes to be difficult. And that you good?
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Continuing with terms that are associated with temperature, you have hyperthermia, which occurs when the body's temperature exceeds 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Due to prolonged heat exposure, the brain damage, and serious infections, this is why you would have a fever this high. Temperatures above 106 degrees Fahrenheit can lead to convulsions and seizures. Now, I've always been told 105. When you get to 105, you just might as well consider yourself dead because your body is shutting down. It's not fighting anything at this point. But 106, 106, 106 shouldn't even exist. That's too high. That's why it's telling you if you reach 106 degrees, you might as well just say your brain is frying. No, you cooking on the inside is 106. And these things do happen because we live in the grand old state of Texas and it does get hot out here. So it's one of the things during the summer, that's why they're very vigilant around the city to make sure that the elderly have air conditioning fans, that the students or children are going to the pool and they're not staying outside too long, or during the day, not going outside in the heat of the day, because we have some pretty hot days. And if you go outside and it's already 101, and then you work yourself up to a point over that, then that could be a serious injury. Okay, so when taking a temperature, use a plastic sheet cover or antiseptic if needed. Now, right now in this day and age, we really don't do that anymore because we use the ones that scan the forehead. But you do have some doctor's offices, some hospitals that do the plastic sheet over the over the thermometer. You will definitely need one if you do a rectal temperature. But the bottom part of this slide is the most important. Note when eating, drinking liquids, smoking can affect the temperature within the mouth. You must wait at least 15 minutes before taking the temperature if the patient says they've done the following listed above. It's also up to you as the healthcare professional when you're taking the vitals that you pay attention to the temperature. If you have somebody that comes in and you take their temperature and it's 92 degrees Fahrenheit, well, you need to ask them, did you just drink something? Oh yeah, I just had a cold bottle of water. Okay, well, we're gonna have to wait 15 minutes to take your temperature. And generally, you don't have to wait the whole 15 minutes just standing there looking at them. Do something else. Take their blood pressure, do an exam, come back to it. But you still have to do a reread of their temperature. Can you hold it? You got one more. Okay. So this is the last one. So the temperature ranges are on the bottom of page 351, which is right here. And the only ones that you need to know is the row that says average temperature. They're not hard to remember because they're pretty much in order, or you need to put them in order. So average temperature is oral, 98.6, rectal is 99.6, and axillary or growing is 97.6. So again, if you put them in order from least to greatest, it would be axillary or growing, oral, then rectal. But it's 97, 99, 98.6. I still did that wrong. 97, 98, 99.6. You just have to remember which location is what. This is not in your notes, so go ahead and make sure you write this down when I say it. No, it's not up here. So know that the most common temperature administration is oral. The most common temperature administration is oral. The most accurate temperature is rectal. The most accurate is rectal. And the least accurate is axillary or growing. However, what population do you think you would use axillary on? Mm-hmm. What population do you think that you would use axillary on? Yeah. What population? Young, old, teenager?
Old.
Mm-mm.
Teenagers.
Why?
Because like my temperature is 97.
Yes, but how do they take your temperature? Infants and toddlers, they use axillary.
Yeah, I was thinking the old people. I don't know what's something.
Yeah, you do. Axillary is typically used on children or on toddlers and infants, because toddlers and infants like to chew on everything, and they won't let you take a temperature. You could use a rectal on them. We typically use that when they're sick. But if you're just getting a general temperature for a physical, they use the arm, the axillary region, the armpit. So again, oral is the most common administration. Rectal is the most accurate, and axillary is used on infants or toddlers, but it is not the most accurate. So I've said that twice. You're seeing it right now on this chart. Do not miss this on the exam. Do not. It's too easy. 97, 98, 99. Go. Hold on.